And welcome to day 12 of the 2024 Advent Calendar series here on Milwaukee Beer Review. As always, I'm Josh.
I'm Ross.
I'm Lau.
And I think that's the best way I've said the intro. 12 attempts. Here we are. It is day 12. All three of us know what beer we're drinking tonight because I destroyed my box. We may get back to some mystery in a few days, but for now, we are just going to share with all of you what beer we are drinking from Three Cellars here on day 12. So all at once, folks, we are going to be a Kid in a Candy Store.
Candy Store.
This is a milk stout from Weldwerks out of Colorado. So probably one of the further away breweries from Wisconsin so far. We've had New York.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a milk stout. It is candy bar inspired. So it is brewed with peanut caramel nougat with peanut. There's no commas.
Yeah, I was confused about that when I was reading this.
I was like, peanut caramel nougat chocolate bars and milk sugar.
So is that basically trying to say it's brewed with Snickers and milk sugar? Like, is that what it's getting at? Is it's a peanut?
Look at the labeling. It's pretty much saying it's a Snickers stout.
That's literally looks like, for sure.
I know Weldwerks has been in the Advent Calendar box every year. I don't remember other ones we've done out of them, but I know for a fact this is kind of a staple brewery that we do in this one.
Yeah, and I recall their beers being pretty good.
Yeah.
I kind of like the idea of a Snickers-inspired milk stout. So let's crack this thing open and see if this one is as tasty as it sounds. I'm betting it's going to pour out pretty black. Yep.
That it is.
Nice cream-colored head on that.
Yeah, slightly copper. Almost has a little bit of that barrel-aged characteristic on the head. I know it's not barrel-aged beer, but it has a little bit of a characteristic on it.
Yeah, it looks like a tasty stout.
Yeah.
To the nose we go.
Oh. Yeah. Smells like a milk stout.
Smells like a milk stout. Yeah, it's got that roasty stout characteristic. Some of that sweet lactose kind of scent to the nose, and smells stouty. I'm not getting a lot of chocolate or peanut or anything like that.
I'm getting a little peanut on there. On milk stouts, though, that milk sugar is really hard to get past down the nose, I think.
Mm-hmm. I'm getting a little chocolate, like a little chocolatey, fudgy kind of ness.
Yeah, I wonder how much of that is the stout versus the adjuncts. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
If you have that flavoring already in the stout, you don't need to do too much to it then. I mean, it's kind of, you don't want to, so.
Right. So, let's see what it tastes like.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, gentlemen.
It's almost got a bitter note to it.
Probably the chocolate.
Yeah, the chocolate can come out kind of bitter on some of these beers. I think I'm getting kind of the peanut, I'm getting kind of the chocolate. There's a couple of the components that they want coming off.
There's the peanuts a bit.
But it's nothing strong or overpowering in any way. It's almost really faint across the board for me. It's really just the milk sugars and the milk stout that I'm getting more than anything else, with just a faintness of some of those candy bar characteristics.
I'm getting a little bit of that peanut butter at the end, like right at the end is what I'm getting it.
Some peanut butter?
Peanuts, you mean?
Peanuts, yeah, sorry. Like it was like get a little peanut right at the end. That bitterness is really throwing me off. not in a bad way, but not what I expected at all. Like I was expecting this to just be really almost overly sweet with the milk sugar in it and all these other adjuncts, and then that chocolate presenting that bitterness. I actually kind of like it.
That's funny.
I think some of that bitter character is some of the milk stout, like that roasty component kind of coming through pretty heavy. Like you guys have already said this, but like I think this is very heavy on the traditional milk stout characteristics. The candy bar characteristics as described are not prominent on this at all. The milk stout itself, like the base beer, is overshadowing most of what's in here from an adjunct or additional flavoring perspective.
Yeah. I definitely don't get any caramel. I do get peanuts. But
if you told me this was sweater weather, just the base sweater weather from Fermentorium, and you handed it to me in a glass and said that's what it is, I don't know if I'd even argue with you. I don't know if I would. Like, I'm not saying that it's exactly the same as sweater weather, but I don't know that I'd have a reason to argue with you about it.
I get what you're saying, and I think I would say the same way, but because we're here and we can argue about it, I would say Sweater's got a little more creaminess to it than this. This, I think, has more of that bitterness coming through because it does want to make that chocolate more of the star here as opposed to Sweater, which doesn't really have those. It doesn't pump more chocolate into it. I think it's more creamy versus chocolatey. To Lau's point, it does add a pleasant bitterness. I wouldn't say it's a bad bitterness.
No.
It is jarring if that's not what you're expecting. But I think there's milk stouts tend to come with some of that, especially chocolate ones are going to come with some of that bitterness behind it.
Yeah.
Just took me by surprise because I was thinking milk sugar and candy, kid in a candy store, sweet candy bar. Like, I wasn't thinking bitter dark chocolate. I was thinking milk chocolate.
I will say this is our second milk stout we've had on the calendar so far. The first one being that Mexican drinking chocolate from Mobcraft. I am enjoying this one more. And it's a more well-crafted milk stout. I still think, I think maybe the adjuncts came out slightly better in that one, but I still think this is just a better milk stout as a whole. But so we're gonna rank this.
Let's rank them.
Josh, start with you.
I'm going 3.25 on this. Probably the lowest ranking I've given a beer so far. Or that's on par with, I think, maybe what I did for the previous one from Mobcraft. It's fine. The fact that it's missing so much of those flavor notes, like if you're going to go out, in my opinion, and call this kid in a candy store, and then without commas, talk about all those different adjuncts, like I want to taste those adjuncts in this beer, and the fact that they're barely there is why I'm giving it what I think. It's a well-made milk stout, but I'm giving it the score I am because it's missing that stuff.
If it had commas, would it give it a 3.5?
It would give me more pause.
I see what you did there. I see
grammar jokes. Oh, good stuff.
All right, what do you got, Ross?
I'm right there with Josh. I was flirting with a 3. I'm gonna go 3.25 though, just because I do think this is actually pretty well. Like just on a milk stout alone, I think it's well made. I think it's actually pretty tasty. We talked in the previous one that milk stouts is definitely something that I've kind of grown out of favor in over the last year or so. I just don't really enjoy them as much. I'd rather drink other things if I'm going to drink a beer. I think this one's actually pretty well crafted, which is why I'm going 3.25. I completely agree with Josh. Like, if we're just judging this for what they were trying to do, I would actually be pretty low on it. I would be lower than I am on it because I don't think it hits any of those flavor profiles that they're really going for. But it's fine. It's tasty. So 3.25.
Similar reasons. I'm going 3.5. I think it's an enjoyable, drinkable beer, but it's not what I was expecting given what was presented on the can. But I enjoy that bitterness took me by surprise, but I actually really enjoy it. I enjoy it not presenting as overly sweet. Like that makes it a better beer for me, for my own personal tastes. But I feel like it needed to be sweeter if it's going to be kid in the candy store.
Yep. Agreed. All right. Well, Weldwerks, blowing here through the advent calendar in 2024. Interesting selection. Not our favorite beer in the box, but a well-brewed milk stout here for day number 12. Have you tried this? Are you trying it right along with us? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you all on day 13 tomorrow, Friday the 13th.
Oh, no.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Cheers.
Bye.